Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, it's your boy Vic Slain Hope. And I got another video for y'all. This video I'm going to be talking about Brittney Griner. I don't even know why we still talking about her, but yeah, a report came out that she is in one of like the worst penal colonies in Russia, working like slave labor, right? Which is kind of like, anyway, I'm going to show y'all the video clip and then I'm going to come back with my commentary. So just bear with me.
Brittney Griner was moved to IK2. It's one of the harshest colonies. It is literally the harshest colony in the whole Russian prison system. I was protesting terrible conditions in my penal colony, but I know every single chief official who works at IK2, and I know exactly what human rights abuses do they perform on a daily basis and kind of tortures that they use against prisoners. Well, prisoners in that IK2 works in slave-like conditions. They're forced to work up to 17 hours a day with no days off and with no vacation, needless to say. And if you do not perform the quota, then you're going to be punished. And that includes torture, and that includes daily torture. And a lot of prisoners just cannot.
First of all, let me say she sounds mad dumb and just even try to explain her point. Anyway, before I even get into my commentary, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you like my content. You know, it helps the channel grow and it helps stuff circulate. Anyway, let's get started. Notice the type of language that they use, right? Because this is all part of the propaganda. I tell you all the time. They use things like torture. Oh, she's at the worst penal colony, slave labor, etc., etc. She's talking about with 17 hours a day when, what she said, 17 hours a day with no vacate. Like, first of all, since when you give vacations in prison? Anyway, that was just stupid of her, right? But this person committed a crime. Like, this is the thing that bugs me out. It don't matter what we think. It don't matter if we say it was too harsh. It don't matter what we feel about the situations. The realities is she committed a crime in a whole nother different country, and they have the right or whatever, or the jurisdiction to hand out whatever prison sentence that they want, right? It is what it is. And that's and the crazy thing is that we're still talking about this one person, right? One person who committed a crime. She didn't just go over there and they locked her up for nothing. She was jaywalking, and then they just, no, she committed a crime. Like, what's the saying? You do the crime, you do the time. But anyway, let me talk about certain things, because we so quick to focus on what Russia is doing, but let's talk about America. We want to talk about penal colonies in America. There's plenty of penal colonies here. I mean, excuse me. We want to talk about penal colonies in Russia. There's plenty of penal colonies here in America that we don't talk about. It don't go out there on the news. It don't get publicized like that. There's not a lot of news coverage on it, right? We don't talk about, I recently just made a video talking about how I was working for 16 cents a day, right? The same regular job schedule that somebody works in the street. Also in America, when you are convicted of a crime, you no longer have your rights. So what are we talking about? So you want to talk about Russia and the rights as a prisoner, when in America you get stripped of your rights for committing a crime? Are we serious? Are we serious? America also incarcerates more people than any other nation. Are we serious? Are we serious? Like, what are you doing? Like, America looks real stupid trying to point the finger at what Russia is doing when you still have the juvenile death sentence. When you still was sentenced a 14-year-old to death row, I believe, or a 16-year-old, right? I don't know about 14. Yeah, Yeah, they still, in some states, they will sentence you to death row as a teenager. Even though science claim, right, oh, your brain doesn't fully develop to the age of 25. They still would give somebody the death penalty or death sentence or life imprisonment as a teenager. When we know teenagers, they're gonna do things. They're swayed. They try to be down. They're peer pressured. We know that. But they don't care here in America, right? They don't care here in the penal colonies here in America. There's torture going on here in America to thousands of people in the prison system. Torture here in America. We want to worry about torture overseas. No, there's torture right here in the penal colonies in America. Let's talk about that. We want to worry about sweatshops and slave labor in Russia. No, there's sweatshops and slave labor here in America. If you go look up the 13th Amendment, I said this in my other video, and you don't have to believe me, look it up. The 13th Amendment that so-called abolished slavery, it didn't abolish it. What it did was it reformed slavery. It says you can no longer be forced into involuntary servitude unless you are convicted of a crime. Okay? So if you're convicted of a crime, you are a slave in America. Victoria's Secrets, they built a lot of their stuff in sweatshops in prison. And they pay people cents of the dollar. And you know what? You go to Victoria's Secret, you get a bra and panty set for, I don't know, like what, like $80, $60? I don't know how much it costs. They paying cents to the women prisoners in prison to make that stuff. Idaho potatoes. Where do you think they get Idaho potatoes from? Prison. Nike. Some of the stuff that they make is made in sweatshops in prison. Yeah. Yeah, some of the Nike stuff. And a lot of other name brands I can't even think about. License plates are made in prison, in sweatshops, in prison. Slave labor. It's a lot of stuff that's made in prison. We have our own issues here, but we want to, again, propaganda. They want to have this propaganda campaigns against other countries. Right now, with this situation, it's about Russia, right? It's about demonizing Russia. It's about, oh, look what they're doing. No, let's worry about here. What's going on here? Oh, excuse me. We talk about kids working in sweatshops for usually American companies for cents. Come on, man. Come on. What are we talking about? We want to talk about the one person that went over there and broke the law. And like, oh, she's going to be in some harsh condition. Okay, what about the people that didn't break the law here? What about the people that get framed in America all the time? Every other day we hear and we see overturned convictions in America. Dudes serving 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, 15 years for stuff that they didn't do. Because they planted evidence. Police planted evidence. Or the district attorney didn't investigate enough. And like, we hear it all the time for numerous people, hundreds, thousands of people that go through that stuff all the time here in America, who get forced to go to these colonies to work. In prison, if you don't work here, you're going to get penalized. So stop trying to make Russia sound like, oh my God, they're so harsh. The same shit happens here. If you don't work, you're going to go to the box. In the prison system here, you get tortured too. I don't know what Russian torture looks like, but you get torture here too. They won't feed you. They'll play with your food. They'll spit in it. They'll do all type of foul shit to your food. Now you can't even eat your food. That's torture. Starving somebody, that's torture. They'll beat on you if they want to. That shit happens here too. But notice when they pick and choose to want to unfold certain things, highlight certain things, we don't even get a lot of coverage in our prison system here. A lot of times you don't even know what's going on in the prison system here. Because those people work together to kind of like hide each other's shit. But the point of the video is like, just pay attention to how the media, when they want to demonize somebody, the language that they use is almost like when people commit crime, right? When a white person commits a crime or one of those kids shoot up schools and do all of that shit, They try to like pacify the situation. They say, "Oh, you know, he stopped taking his medication. He was bullied." They try to have humanizing language. But when black people commit crimes, they call them savages, they call them thugs, they call them criminals, they call them a whole bunch of disparaging things, so that anytime you see those people or you think about those people, you correlate or connect certain words to them. That's why I'm just telling you, man, the media, pay attention to the media, man. Pay attention to the media. But that's about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time. Peace.